Hey y'all, this is Jessie with our latest episode of GunGals Live. We have a fun show planned for y'all and excited to get to it, but first let's run through tonight's panel. Tonight we have Armintha. Hey.
Hey y'all, and welcome tonight. It's exciting.
It is. We also have Stacey. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. We also have Clovertac. How's it going?
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And we also have an awesome guest, Armintha. I will let you take over for a minute.
This is Johnny. He is with Practical Nurse.
Howdy.
And we're going to talk Medical EDC, Medical Range Bag. So it's going to be exciting.
It is. If you would like to join the GunGals panel, we would love to have you. Shoot us an email at info@gun-gals.com for more info. Before we get started, we want to give a huge shout out to our awesome Patreon supporters, Clevertac, Ghost Tactical, GA Trucker, Angry Haycutter, The Gun Snob, Gizzard Gary, and Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Thank you for your support to GunGals.
Yes. Thank you. So starting off, since we're going to talk Medical EDC, Medical Range Bag, we'll kind of run it through the room and kind of see if anybody's had any. Well, first, does anybody actually carry? Just simple, does anybody carry one?
I do.
Stacey, do you carry a range or a medical bag?
Yeah, there's one in my car. I'm not the one who put it together. My husband put it together. It's actually his, but we pretty much have been leaving it in my car for the most part. So yeah, it's been in there now for, quite a few weeks, maybe a month or two.
Awesome. How about you, Jessie?
I've got Band-Aids and Neosporin. My medical kit is slacking, I can tell you.
Stacey, I will help you with that.
All right. What about you, Ghost? Do you carry a medical range bag?
Yeah, I carry a med kit and a trauma kit in the car, to the range, wherever I go. It's in the car for sure.
So first of all, I guess it's called a med kit, and I'm calling it the wrong thing. That's really sad.
Well, a med kit and a trauma kit, I think, are two different things. So the terminology that I use, a med kit is like a first aid kit. I might be wrong. For me, I'm calling a med kit like a first aid kit, and a trauma kit, for me, is something different.
Okay.
You're correct. The other name for those of us who are military or prior service is IFAC, Individual First Aid Kit.
IFAC is, I wanted to say IFAC, but I didn't know if anybody else would know what that meant.
Right on. Yeah. It's first time I gave a class and some young kid was there. I had to be like 12 years old. And Mama, is he swearing? No. The Individual First Aid Kit, IFAC.
See, and that's why I don't use the mute button, because I can't get to it and I talk too much. So it's hard for me to do everything at once. Anyway, what about you, Clover? Do you carry a med kit or a trauma kit?
Both, yes.
Awesome. So, I have a little bit of, I don't carry one. I actually carry a CPR mask, and that's about the extent of what I carry. So, which is really sad, I know, but anyway, as far as medical training, we'll kind of run that through the room. What kind of medical training do any of us have? We'll start on the other end. What about Clovertac?
I learned it all on the internet. No, I've got.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, some of that is true, but outdoor first aid type stuff. But that's about it.
Okay. What about you, Ghost?
As far as certifications, I have CPR, defibrillator. I've taken a couple different stop the bleed type classes over the years, and then obviously basic first aid, learn the Marine Corps, you kind of learn how to patch and move on type stuff,
Okay, very good. What about you, Jessie?
I pretty much have the basics, what you learn when you become a daycare worker. It's just basic first aid and how to remove something from a kid's mouth if they start choking on a toy.
Okay. What about you, Stacey?
I worked EMS for over 10 years till I had back surgery.
Mhm.
So I was, I didn't go as far as paramedic, but I was an EMT for over 10 years.
Okay, very good. And I skipped you on purpose, Johnny, because I'm gonna let you go last in this. I am a nurse. I'm an LVN, been one for years now. But I mean, my skills are kind of like typically within my setting, I guess you could say. So, but I've got basic safety, CPR, first aid. I can work the AED machine. I can do all that. But anyway, and what about you, Johnny?
I am a registered nurse. I've been an ER nurse for 30 years. I am currently administration. I am trauma nurse core course qualified, along with, all of us who are paramedics also, you got your advanced cardiac life support, and pediatric advanced life support, I became a medic in the U.S. Army by default, which means that back in my day, because of the budgets and everything, you had one medic per battalion, and they decided that was just not enough. So then they started doing a medic by company, and we lost ours. And so I got it by default. I went to the 90-day wonder school and learned how to drop IVs and tubes and whatnot. However, our med kit was very limited back then. So, you basically had the little Israeli bandage up on your left shoulder, and that was about it. But yeah, I've been an ER nurse for like 30 years. I've taken wilderness courses. I even teach courses out here on first aid. So that's it in a nutshell. If you want to hear it for the next 30 minutes, we can do this, but let's just move on. Right?
Oh no, my phone. Okay. Found the mute button. Sorry, y'all. Um, with someone who is not professional in the medical field, where would you suggest that they go find training for the basic stuff almost? We'll start with Johnny.
In a nutshell, I would probably start with your Red Cross first. Find out who's teaching CPR in your community. Okay. That is the basic, and then they also teach what we call first aid courses. I teach a course out here every spring, and it relates mostly to first aid, going all the way up to using a blowout kit for beginners.
Very cool.
Oh, I'm sorry, blowout kit definition. Gunshot wounds that can cause a collapse of the lung or something like that.
Very cool. Where have you found is the best place to shop for supplies in building a kit? Let's start with Clover this time.
CVS, Walmart, one of those places. I don't know. Work the, especially I don't know CVS. Think about CVS and maybe Walgreens and some of those, as opposed to Wally World is, a lot of times, especially if you're the card member or whatever, especially if you're putting together multiple kits, right? Because they, card holders, or a lot of times they'll have buy one, get one free on different medications or bandages or whatever it might be. So you could actually utilize the specials. It may take you a little while to get your full kit, however you want it. I'm a big proponent of a personalized kit. And by personalized, I mean what you deal with predominantly.
True that,
For-
true that, brother. True that.
For me, yes, you've got that trauma kit, but Lord willing, the creek don't rise. You never have to use that thing. The med kit, is the day-to-day cut, scrape, boo-boo, fevers, headaches, that stuff you're going to use pretty doggone regular most of the time. So that's going to be tailored more around where you go, the people you're around, and the environment and that sort of thing.
Very cool. How about you, Ghost?
You want the easiest and cheapest way to do it? Go visit your local doctors, your family physicians. Tell them what you're doing. You're trying to put together a med kit. You'd be surprised at how many family physicians will give you gauze, Band-Aids, aspirin, different stuff like that. You can put a really nice med kit together probably for free.
That is an awesome idea. I have honestly never thought about that. With having kids, I have to make a lot of doctor's appointments with them. How about you, Johnny?
Ghost, if you can enjoy a good laugh on that one. My mom used to wait till the doctor stepped out, and you know how they used to have the display jars, and they had gauze and everything, and
Oh,
tape.
yeah.
She used to just open up her purse, brother.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
I mean, anything, Band-Aid, suckers. That was the zero cost, because her theory was my mom was Mescalero Apache and my dad's German. That's how I ended up looking like this. So that was her theory, was she paid for a doctor's visit, and that should be included. And that was her theory behind that. Well, so truly, she would just open up her purse, and just empty out all their little glass bell jars, and just glass jars into her purse. Next thing I do, y'all, is if any of you are near a military base, yard sales. I go hit up all the yard sales in the area, and I tell people I find things pennies to the dollar, and sometimes just because of a couple of things. One, I live close to Fort Hood. I mean, I'm like less than 30 miles from Fort Hood, largest military base in the free world. I start talking to some of us older soldiers and whatnot, and they end up giving me stuff for free. Sometimes they say, "Hey, I've seen your YouTube channel, and will you please put this on your YouTube channel?" And it's a medical thing where they'll say, "Hey, I know you give IFAKs away every 1,000 subscribers you reach. So here's something that you can put in the next kit to get to give away to people." It's basically passing on the love. Next thing I do is we're talking about a scale of from 0 to kind of the most expensive thing I do. The next thing I do is flea markets, because they tend to kind of want to kick the price up a little bit. You got to really learn how to negotiate with them. After that is Walmart, again, CVS. After that, it's usually Amazon. But I can build you a really good IFAK for $40 or less.
That's pretty awesome. I don't know if Ghost and Clover are at points where they could share their med kit with us or not. Because I know Johnny can.
I am on a phone. I can go outside if you need to.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of if you want to. I mean, it was kind of going to be like a show and tell if you wanted to, per se. That way you could kind of show us what you got. Because people like us, people like me, I guess I kind of take it for granted that I've just not had to do it. And still being new to the firearm industry or community, I should be carrying one of these kits. And it would be interesting to know what you carry in yours. It kind of gives us an idea.
Everybody. If you have a firearm, you need an IFAK kit. Everybody should have one. Everybody. That should be, before you purchase another firearm, and there's going to be some boos and hisses here, but before you purchase another firearm, go build yourself an IFAK kit for less than $40.
Aside from the firearms, I have 2 kids that are a hazard to their own health most days. I should have a trauma kit, first aid kit, everything. I probably need to have something to where I can make a cast at some point.
No. But stop there. No. Splint, yes. Cast, no. Okay, we'll go into that. Don't worry. We'll go into that.
Okay, so while they're doing that, let's Let's see. Oh,
Clover has his up.
does he? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll let you kind of talk us through it.
We gotta try to do it one-handed. I do have a video on my channel with this, so because I don't want to take up 20, 30 minutes of time talking about every single thing. So I'll go over some important points just with mine, because like I said, most of mine is it just depends on what you do, right? So number one, you need a good sturdy bag if you're going to do stuff that's obviously going to hold up and hold everything you need. The more pockets, the better. Easily identifiable. That's a big thing. If I'm out on the range and I'm trying to attend to somebody and I got to send somebody after this for something in it, it's easy for them to tell this is the med bag. It's not anything else, right? And then I get into. I don't need that. I'm good. So a couple things that when you start getting into this that I think is important, which is kind of weird. Obviously, that's my take. Is notice that I put my stuff in bags, okay? Because first of all, organization, right? Everything is in on bag, so it's see through. You can see in there. You can see what's there. Not a big deal. But notice how I've got these tabs, okay, on my bags. So not only are they waterproof, but you put your gloves on or whatever, and you're wet, potentially bloody. I mean, anything, muddy, whatever. These tabs make it a little bit easier to get the bags open. So, but yeah, as far as everything in here, I mean, standard stuff. Let me flip it around because most of the pockets are on the other side. Another thing, let's see, people don't often think about this, but it's a big deal. Is some type of a hands-free light. I've also got a flashlight in here, but it is kind of a pen light. I could hold that in my mouth, I suppose. But if you've got something hands-free, that certainly helps. Tourniquet, big fan of the SWAT T tourniquet. I can get it out. And these aren't too terribly expensive, fairly easy to use. I'll put that back in a minute. I would have to dig down in here to get, like I said, I don't want to take up just a ton of time. And I want to talk about mainly things that people probably don't think about. One thing is like a power bar or something like that. You could have a situation where, you get somebody with low blood sugar, anything like that. Drinking water, definitely water, just in case. Obviously, I got some saline and other stuff. Other things that are people don't think about, I think, is I've got like icy hot packs, also hand warmers, cold packs, that type of stuff. People don't think about that a lot of times either. So I'll shut up and let somebody else kind of maybe talk about their stuff. I think that's sort of the highlights of some of the things that at least I find important.
Very, very nice. Very nice. What about you, Ghost? Are you able to do yours or?
Ghost, you want to go
I don't
next?
know if you can see me or not. There we go.
Yes.
Looking good, brother.
All right. So I didn't go get the big one. I just went and got a very simple one that I keep in my range bag a lot. And this is for something that's not a trauma kit. This is just a simple med kit. I don't know if you guys can see. It clips. I can clip on to your bag or whatever. So, anyways, it's a simple med kit, and it's basically very simple. It's got bandages, some gauze. It's got a little makeshift tourniquet. What I like about this one is I bought this one. This actually came with, I think, a paracord, and people don't realize the significant uses that paracord can use. Especially if you're in a situation where you need a tourniquet and you've already used a tourniquet and you need something else. You might not have a belt or something. There are many different uses to paracord cord that could be utilized in a very quick situation. Obviously, it's got, like I said, gauze, all the bandages you want. Something simple is a cheap pair of scissors. You never know when you're going to have to cut open someone's shirt or jeans or whatever. If you don't have a knife, a little safety pin. It's got some tweezers. Like I said, it's got all the bandages, but and it's got, you know, little ointment, if you want to call it Neosporin type stuff, ibuprofen, all that stuff, moleskin. It's got all sorts of stuff for different types of burns and blisters and all that. So I think I got this one. It's like I said, this is small. You can put on your range bag. It's very, very small. I think you can get this for like 25 bucks on Amazon or something. So I mean, you know, it's like Johnny said, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get the basics. Now the bag that is my major bag that's got, you know, trauma and all that. Yeah, it's a lot like Clover's, and but you can get something like this. I haven't brought this one out. Get something like this. You can buy these at Walmart, and for what you need for these right here for just a basic first aid kit. Don't be afraid to get something like this because it's got everything on here, and it's got a whole list of stuff on the back that it's got. And for under $10, I think you can get something like this at Walmart. So these are all do the job if you're just looking for a basic first aid kit.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so now we're going to let Johnny show us his bag.
Okay. This is one that I put together for my friends. And like I said, for every time I get 1,000 more subscribers, I'll give one of these away. This is very simple, okay? And this goes back to my military training and being a registered nurse. I'm also a SAR volunteer, which is a search and rescue. I go out with the Cajun Army, the Cajun Navy, whoever wants to pick me up for any of the disasters, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Katrina, you know, but I keep, this is one for my individual self, and then I'll keep another one here. I'll show you another one here. It's a larger kit. Very simple kit. I mean, if you can remember ABCD, I can teach you how to do this in less than 30 minutes. Very simple. Pouch from Amazon. First thing you see up on the top here is a tourniquet, okay? My recommendations, through my experience, military, being a registered nurse, ER, the whole 9 yards, having walked upon gunshot wounds on the range, the whole 9 yards, you have no less than 2 tourniquets. Like Ghost said, you know, if you had used the one, have something else. You can use makeshift items, a bandana, and a piece of steel or metal, like a rod, a stick, an old fork that you took the points off, a spoon. You can use something to make a secondary tourniquet. However, first one's on top always, okay? Always on top. If you want to, that's fine. Take this off, okay? Put it in a pocket. Anywhere that you can reach with both hands is a place for that primary tourniquet, okay? If you want to leave it up here, awesome. This one right here, got loops for a belt, whatever you want to hold on to. It's even got eyelets right here, okay? If you just want to, there's a strap inside if you want to carry it around like a purse, or like my friend says when I carry it around, a merce. All right, so open it up, very simple. Grab both ears of those zippers, and it will pop right open. All right, now you want a place for medications, Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever the case may be, up in this zipper bag, okay? Your first line gear, your backup tourniquet right there, okay? A triangle dressing, all right? I recommend those a lot because those can hold pressure on anything or cover a wound or anything. Then you got your trauma shears. Now, folks, you can get these trauma shears. You go to any medical seminar for free. I get mine for free all the time. After that, we talked about a pin light and free. Okay, if you apply a tourniquet of any kind in there, you need to note the time. So have a Sharpie in there too. All right, you pull this little, hey, by the way, Clever Tack, awesome idea. I like to keep my stuff in a Ziploc bag too. One, it's organized, and number two, it is what? Waterproof. Just pull that out. There is your gloves. Okay, your gauze, 2x2s, 4x4s. I've got some tape in here, but this is something I recommend everyone go get. It has multiple names, okay? Self-adhesive gauze, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of the packet just for y'all. Self-adhesive gauze. You can get this at Tractor Supply. I think they call it horse wrap in the veterinary world. Coban, Coflex, it's got multiple names. Now, this is why I like this stuff.
I say we love it. It sticks to everything.
Yeah, I love Coban.
I mean, it will literally stick to itself. It clings, and you can even get it wet, and it's still going to stick on there. It is dirt cheap, and you can get it everywhere. All right, that's an IFAK, a first aid kit. Okay, now I just happen to live in a small town here in Central Texas. I can't drive anywhere without somebody seeing me, so I keep that kind of kit with me because it never fails. If there's an accident and the DPS sees me, they'll do this to me. They recognize my cars because I drive old cars that I can still fix. This is my next one. This is my search and rescue kit. This is one I strap on my back to the mom that was talking about splints. Let me show you what I recommend. Trust me, this one I could talk your ear off about, but I'm just going to get down to the nitty-gritty on this one.
Well, my son is going to be 5, so I'm definitely going to need to invest in this just for the simple fact that he's going to dislocate his shoulder, arm, whatever eventually.
These right here, can y'all see me?
Yes.
These are called Sammy splints. You can find these on eBay, okay? You can find them on Amazon. Sammy, S-A-M-I, all right? Sammy splints. You can unroll these and you can conform basically to the injury. Military style and civilian style in a roll. Okay? Not very expensive, but get a hold of these for ladies if you want to put these in case, you know, kid jumping on a trampoline, all of a sudden that ankle doesn't look like it's in the place that it used to be. Same with a wrist. I see a lot of kids, my biggest injury and fractures I see in kids are where? Ankles and wrists, okay? But you need these right here. What do you put that to get? What do you attach that with? Well, you can use an ace wrap, or you can use your co-band, and you can still use it. Whatever you do though, don't ever try to straighten anything out. Leave it in the position of comfort that you find it. Use your Sammy, use your ace, use your co-band, and you're ready to rock. Bring that kid to me at the ER. But this is my large search and rescue kit. Right here, backpack style.
Awesome. Very, very, very awesome.
All right, so I had my husband bring ours in.
Okay, go for it.
Let's see. Flip it. Okay. Trying to see whether you can see it real good or not. So we got the tourniquet here. And then I have trauma shears, and inside we have, this is more of the trauma based one. Sorry, I'm trying to do this and do it with one hand. So we have like stop the bleed stuff. There's gauze in here. There's a headlamp. There's tape. CPR mask. Also a nasal airway. Let's see in this one. We have gauze. We have like a compression triangle. There's an emergency blanket in here. I don't know if you can see all that. And just kind of a little bit. There's tape, headlamp, and all that in this one. This isn't the first aid one. This is more of the trauma one. But I mean, it's got chest seals. I think it's got a triangle gauze. It's got a little bit of everything, but more of the essential one. I think our other bag has like baby aspirin and all that stuff in there. Splint.
Well, now something that I notice between each kit that there's a lot of similarities and then there's some differences. Stacey's has got a few things that even I'm not completely comfortable with. So silly question. Before I would put certain things in my kit, would it be, use my husband's term, advantageous of me to get training on whatever supplies I have? Because what's the point in having something if I can't use it or I don't know how to properly use it?
Here's why. If I can answer that question for you. I, like any other human being out there, can forget to take my kit and throw it in the car. Mm-hmm. Or I decide I don't know, I'm bored. Let me go clean out my car. And I take the kit out.
Mhm.
But I come across you who has the item but doesn't know how to use it, but I know how to use it. So you and I both have
Yep.
just saved my life.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was fixing to say. I mean, there's 3 different things and all are effective. I've got it and I know how to use it. I've got it and someone else knows how to use it, and someone else has got it and I know how to use it. All of those work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and see, for me, I mean, I worked at EMS, so most of that stuff I have used.
Right.
Because we did more of, we're first responders, so we're the first
Right.
ones on scene. But I've been out of it for so long. I haven't worked EMS since 2010. I think it's whenever I got released from there, and then back surgery and stuff. But yeah, I'm totally talking about taking some more CPR and some more stop the bleed and getting caught up on a bunch of stuff. But training, even just taking some classes and learning about some of that stuff would be, a good thing to be thinking of, because, if you're going to have it, you might as well know how to use it. I mean, yeah, someone else might know, but there might not be someone there that would know. But it's always good to have it in there anyways.
Right.
But training is definitely a something you should think about doing.
Always.
Yes. But you threw out that whole nasal airway, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Do you know how long? I mean, the only thing I've ever dropped is an NG tube, and
Yeah, nasal airway is very
totally different.
Yeah, nasal airways is really probably a lot more in trauma and first responders and EMS.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know how to use it. I've done it on a person, plus I've done it on, my practical exams, taking my, my EMS practicals. So, I've been trained to use it.
Like I said, most of my skills are more hospital clinical type setting stuff. So,
but they're also really simple. I mean, you can literally probably watch a YouTube video with that, but they're really simple to put in. I mean, there's really no too much error you can really do with.
Yeah, and you can use them on a conscious and a semi-conscious person.
Yeah.
Also.
Wow.
One thing I want to tell y'all about is also this is one thing I tell people is don't buy it at the fear. You will have companies that say unless you buy their kit that is $500 to upwards of thousands of dollars, that the person you're trying to help, including yourself, will die. Please don't do that. Please don't buy into that fear. That's one of my big pet peeves, and why one of the reasons I started my YouTube channel was because I saw companies doing this. And if you just have basic knowledge, you build upon that basic knowledge, and you will save somebody. Because I don't know how many of y'all, I know that a couple of us here are medically trained and whatnot, but I work every day I work, I have to go to the ER. That means that every day I go to work, I'm going to be saving somebody. It's same when I get in my car. If you would have asked me when I was 20 years old and in the military, I would have told you I was going to be a rock star someday. And I mean, really, so, I had no intentions of getting this profession. I just got into it by default and found out I loved it. So any one of you that are listening right now can be called upon, because you may be the first or only one that shows up. So get the training, get the expertise and build upon that foundation, and please don't go out and think you've got to go spend $1 million on all this equipment. You can get by with, money that you save by trading a few things also, just by saving a few pennies here and there.
Very good. Very good. Jessie, do you have any questions at the moment?
This goes to anyone on the panel. What age would you recommend start getting children involved with learning the skill of first aid, medical training, and all of that?
When they're old enough to understand it.
Yep. As soon as they're old enough to recognize that something's not right, at least with being able to be vocal or get help. So as soon as they're old enough to communicate.
Yeah, especially even just like emergencies at home, even if it's something as simple as teaching them to do basic stuff, and also, being able to call 911, be calm, give their information, their address, and all that stuff is helpful.
Right.
Yeah, I think there are a couple different levels. Obviously, teach them how to sanitize a wound, apply pressure, Band-Aid. That could be done at whatever age you want. I want to say my daughter was maybe in 6th or 7th grade when they did a health class and did a CPR class, even as young as like 12 or 13. And I love the fact that some schools are doing that. So I wish more would do that. But I think that, I mean, you can teach a 5-year-old how to apply pressure, especially if there's other siblings in the house. I mean, if something happens and you're on the phone with 911, having a 5-year-old could very easily help out in a lot of different ways, applying pressure. And I'll tell you what the biggest problem that people don't even talk about, and I learned it very quickly, is keeping someone calm. That's as big as part of anything in first aid, is keeping someone calm and understand that they're going to be okay. Just, they have to be calm.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that completely because I worked, EMS, and I also worked as a dispatcher. And so and I think it was harder to try and calm people down as a dispatcher than it was, as EMS, because you're doing it over the phone. But yeah, keeping someone calm enough to where they can explain to you what's going on and, get them the help that they needed. But yeah, keeping someone calm is essential to any emergency.
I teach 5th graders every year. We have this annual event called Ag Day where I live here in 5th graders, and I teach them basic first aid, and I go through this routine of A, B, C, D. And basically A is alert, airway. B is breathing, bleeding. C is compression, calm, call 911. And D, most important of all, don't panic. If 5th graders can learn this, I mean, pretty much anybody can.
Very cool.
Yes, definitely. On the tourniquet thing, I know that there is such a huge push for this expensive tourniquet, and I can't even remember what it is. And I'm really bad. I know that sounds awful. I'm just, yeah.
Everybody has their opinions.
Right.
So, well, I mean, I'm asking y'all's. I mean, because I'm just used to a regular tourniquet.
Here's my take on a tourniquet, because it's the same. I've talked to a lot of EMS people that have been, got there first and had to deal with gunshot wounds. And, I don't know. I don't want to say 50-50, but there's definitely a split of those that say a tourniquet is better than applying pressure and so forth and so on. With me, the SWAT T has got really good reviews. A lot of people speak highly of it. It's reasonably priced, so you can have multiples at a reasonable cost. And the likelihood, I'm thinking, again, this goes back into making that personal decision. The likelihood of me being able to need that, I think, is fairly low. So if it was somebody that was going to be in the field, let's say that we're talking military or law enforcement or, somebody like that, yeah, I mean, maybe they would opt for something more expensive. But, for me, it's having something is better than having nothing. And considering that I think that my odds of needing it to start with are really low, that it doesn't make a lot of sense, because I can get a lot of other things that I would use on a more regular and immediate basis for the price difference in buying one versus the other.
Okay. What about you, Ghost? Do you have a
CleverTech? How much do those cost? Just out of curiosity.
The SWAT T's are about $10 a piece.
Yeah, see, that right on, brother. Good choice. I like that one. I use the cat tourniquet, which is about 25 or so, and I'll put 2 of these in. Like I said, I believe in having 2, always having 2, because also being a nurse and having been a medic, I would not hesitate, even though I call it IFAC, the I being for individual, I would not hesitate to use it on somebody else. I just did a gunshot wound less than a week ago, and it was an accidental. It was actually a range master that accidentally shot himself, and So again, true, it's kind of it's a 50-50 split as to, you know, use it, don't use it. You know, you always I teach people always go for hand pressure first. You know, if that first dressing doesn't stop the bleeding, if it's pumping, go for the tourniquet, for crying out loud. You know, if it's bleeding a lot, go for the tourniquet. If it's pumping, absolutely. If it's not bleeding a lot but bleeding through that first dressing, go for that second dressing, and then you start thinking about alternate methods. But like I use a cat tourniquet. The one you have is just fine. And like I tell people, if you can't go either route, how about a plain old bandana, you know, and an old wrench that you don't use anymore. A spoon, you know, those sticking those into a kit are just fine. And people ask me, like, how much do you crank that down, Johnny? Well, until the bleeding is down to a trickle or it stops. And if it hasn't stopped, even though you applied that one, you either didn't put it on right, you know, or you've messed up a real major artery or something. But I've rarely seen even the inexpensive tourniquets not work well. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? Even the inexpensive ones will work well. Okay, so
Yeah,
people
it's
unless you use the one that costs $50, and I said, you know, if that theory was true, then we as a species would have died off a long time ago. We have used everything from strips of cloth, and now it's like Ghost said, the paracord. You know, you may do a little damage to that skin, but you're going to save a life. You know, so yeah, by all means, you know, use the cheaper tourniquets. The thing about I tell people is if you can crank that thing down for practice and it breaks, we'll go with the next grade up. But try it on something, you know, that you can practice with it. Practice, and get education on that. You know, it's but I never doubt anyone because their budget says they can only afford something. Whatever your budget allows, but have something. Stop that bleeding.
Very good. That's very good advice. Let's see.
Can I add something real quick to that,
Yes.
if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
The one thing that drives me nuts is there's been a big push in the last year or so, especially in our community, is it's almost like people shame you that you've got to carry a tourniquet. I carry a tourniquet. I carry a rat's tourniquet, and they work really well. But the fact that people almost are carrying a tourniquet because it's like the chic and cool thing to do, understand one thing, please. Don't utilize a tourniquet if you don't know how. You can actually do more damage if you do not know how to properly use a tourniquet. If you have a tourniquet and you don't know how to use it, don't try to act like you do. Find someone that actually does. Go get some training because you can actually do some serious damage if you don't.
Correct. You do a lot of nerve damage. You do a lot of tissue damage, muscular damage. That's true. That's why I teach go for the pressure first.
Yeah, see, when we worked on the ambulance, you know, it was always, you know, that was a tourniquet was always the last resort, and we would always use, you know, the pressure with the gauze and stuff. It was still bleeding, add another piece, and it was very important not to take that first piece off. You just kept adding more gauze and holding that pressure until, you know, you can get the bleeding to stop that way. And if you couldn't, then go to the tourniquet.
Yeah, I mean, even an amputation, y'all, doesn't always bleed a lot at first. You know, even and I'm surprised at things I've seen in the military and as a nurse. I have seen limbs missing, and they weren't. I guess it's the good old adrenaline pumping so much, you know, that they weren't bleeding a lot. But later on, of course, you know, when everything calmed down, then we were definitely reaching for one. But absolutely, I tell people try the compression first, put pressure on it, and then go for the tourniquet. We make a joke about new nurses and new medics that I get out here, and people just want to learn first aid. I tell them if something's missing that ends with a hand or a foot, put a tourniquet because eventually it will bleed. Put a loose tourniquet on there. You know, if it's got a hole through it and it shouldn't be there, a big hole that you can see through, by all means, put a soft tourniquet on there, but don't crank it down. But be prepared for it. You know, there's this little joke that I go through with the students that come out here when they ask me, when do I put it on, when I don't. But absolutely, if you don't know how, don't try. Hand it to somebody who does. Good, right on with that one goes.
Very good. Very good. So, anything else we want to talk about in this last few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I mean we haven't hit on that I think is important, and it's because we put these kits together, or maybe you go buy one. You got one like Ghost showed there with at Walmart, or you made your own, or whatever. Just like anything, I mean, you need to check that every now and then, and you've got things in there that don't last forever. Adhesive bandages, depending on where they're stored. I mean, if they're in the hot vehicle all the time, or maybe it's hot and it's cold and it's back and forth, that adhesive material ain't going to be worth a flip after a few months, or especially a few years. Medications have expiration dates, so there's things that you want to go through, even if you haven't used it. Maybe you put it together and that was months or years ago, and you've never even so much as opened your trunk to get it out or something. Get it out, go through everything, make sure everything is still in proper, I don't know, using condition, I guess. And as cheap as especially adhesive bandages and medications and stuff are, if you're in doubt, just replace it and go on.
And also, if you have to use something, before you forget, quickly replenish it into your med kit, because you never know, oh, I can do that next week. I've got time. You never know when that's going to pop up. If you use bandages, replenish it immediately.
Very good points.
Yeah, see, when I worked on EMS, I mean, that was as soon as we got back from our call. I mean, that was the first thing we did is we went and we put back anything that we used, whether it was IV bags, bandages, whatever. Second we got back from to the station, that's the first thing we did was put back everything we used.
Replenish, restock, right on.
Well, that's why I like having multiples. I mean, I'll have like 2 rolls of gauze, and if I ever have to use one, I've got the other one. So until I can get the, I know that I'm covered. I know I'll still have one left. So then I just got to get, one in of whatever I've used.
Absolutely. That's a great point, is having 2 of everything. It sounds bad, but your bag is about the same size as mine is. It's raining, so I didn't want to go get it out in the car. But yeah, if you can carry 2 of everything, that's the best scenario for everything. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes things break or they go bad, so have 2, absolutely.
Warsaw Patriot brought up something that I definitely want to throw out there. He says he's heard that it's bad to remove a bullet, especially if it's lodged. So
leave it alone. Just leave it alone. If you're not a surgeon or something like that, if it's in there, just leave it alone. Well-intentioned doctors back in the old West days, they killed more people by removing bullets than leaving them in there. Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless we're talking post-apocalyptic, something or another. I ain't going in and getting no bullet. Ain't happening.
It's the same way, even with if you have a knife or some type of object in there, whenever you bandage that with that in place. You did not take anything out. You bandage around it and secure it.
Right. Yeah, please don't pour the old Jack Daniels on the wound and get your tweezers. Please don't do that. I see that in movies all the time. It's like, what in the world?
Have them bite down on a piece of leather.
Exactly.
Well, I've seen all that.
It's a great waste. It's a waste of good Jack Daniels. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's very true.
Nice, very nice. All right. So we're coming up on the hour, and so I'll kind of let us run it through the room. If there's any last things anybody wants to throw out there, we'll let them.
Yeah, I thought of something else.
Go for it.
When you're out, and I'm just talking about your med kit. I'm not getting into the trauma thing with this, because that's various states of whatever mental states and everything else. But if you're out and somebody's sick at their stomach and you have like the Pepto-Bismol that I do, or somebody says they've got a headache or backache and this, that, and you offer something,
make sure they're not allergic to it.
Well, yeah. First of all, run the gamut of the medications and the things you've got. Some people are allergic to Benadryl. Some people are allergic to a lot of different things. That's true. But also, if even though it's over-the-counter medication, make sure that you're offering. You're not telling them to take it. You're like, I've got some. If you want to take it, and make sure that they're, because I don't know. I mean, it's with some of my training and other stuff, it's been talked about that you want, that person to take that, that medication. They're making the conscious decision, to take it. That way, if anything happens, it's not on you as far as liability. Well, hey, you gave so-and-so this. No, I offered it to them. I had it there. They took it.
Me personally, being a nurse here in Texas, I don't think I'd even offer unless it was family member, y'all, because we have become a litigious society. Also, know your laws, know your Good Samaritan law. Even dispensing a Tylenol. Ask these kids in school. A lot of schools have rules. You can't even have your own kids bring in Tylenol anymore. Yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on where you are. State, local, whatever laws and stuff like that. Will I put a dressing on something? Absolutely. But there's a few things that I just wouldn't even do anymore. Knowing how litigious of a society we become.
Yeah, it's just one of them things where you want to make sure that you've got complete and total permission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
All right. Anything else that y'all can think of that maybe we've not hit on or that we've left out?
If you're in a state with snakes, make sure you have a snake kit.
Yep. I've never even used. I mean, I've got one. I've never once used it. So
save your money, fellas and ladies. Okay. I've seen people do more damage with the snake bite kit than woo. I could talk. We could do a whole other episode on that one. Okay. I just don't recommend
it. A state without poisonous snakes so far, so I'm in the clear.
I mean, we've got a few out here. Matter of fact, I had to beat one with a stick the other day. So, no cutting, no putting ice on it, no putting a tourniquet on it. Just the basic rundowns, y'all. Do not put the appendage. If it's an ankle or a wrist or a hand, do not put it above the level of the heart. Just keep them calm. Get them to the ER. It's not a bad idea this time of year to find out which one of your local hospitals has crofab or antivenom. Mine does, by the way. Where I work at, we do. For a small rural hospital. Now, mind y'all this stuff is over $3,000 per vial. The average adult will get 8 vials.
Holy Toledo.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I just had to mix some up the other day.
That is seriously crazy.
Yes, and when it comes to snake bite kits, y'all, if you want one, buy one. I'm not going to tell someone how to spend their money.
Are they more for? Is a snake bite kit more for a situation where you're a long way from help and it potentially could buy you a little time, or what's the deal?
This. Okay, let me tell you, the average healthy adult or young person. A snake bite, be any of the pit vipers. Basically, if you're 30 to 70 miles away from a hospital, it's gonna hurt. You're not gonna love life for a while, but you're gonna be fine. Okay, may have to spend the night in ICU, but the average healthy. But we start talking about people that have immunosuppressive problems. Even elderly people that take blood thinners. These are the people you got to worry about, okay? But your average healthy, preteen on up adult, by all means, get to the nearest hospital that that has crofab, because we measure, we do all kinds of stuff. The funniest thing that ever happened to me was I asked a guy if he knew what kind of snake got bit him, and he goes, sure, and he emptied the damn thing out of a damn pillowcase. Right there on the triage floor.
That's one way to do it.
Okay, so I was a little upset. The average adult, buy a little time. Wow. Maybe like I tell people, if you feel better about having one as opposed to not, but don't cut the bite. Don't put ice on the bite. Do not raise the appendage above the level of the heart. Keep them calm as still as possible and get them to the nearest ER that has antivenom. A lot of times, we won't even use the antivenom. Sometimes you have what's called a dry bite.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes, you get ones that get, snake bit, and it's not, it's non-venomous snake, and they don't know that. A lot of people don't know the difference.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said,
They're all evil to me.
Well, and you can still have bacterial infections and other things going on, and think that you've got a venomous bite, and no, it's just you've gotten bit by a snake that's eating nasty rats and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur with Ghost. All snakes are bad.
I like snakes when they are on a purse or a pair of 9 boots.
Yeah, belt, guitar strap.
Nice, very nice. All right. I think we've had a really great show tonight, y'all. I've learned a lot. I've taken a lot of notes and stuff because I need to work on my own. Tell me how is it IFAX,
IF
Indigo, yeah, Indigo, Foxtrot, Alpha, Kilo,
right.
IFAC.
Yeah. Thought it was an X for some reason. But I guess
No,
not.
it's
K.
individual first aid kit.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Got it. Because I couldn't tell what we were saying, so I've got like 3 different versions of it written down, trying to figure out which one it was. So
You can go on Amazon. There's like level 1, level 2, level 3. They add on, to different ones. You can go as in detail as you want.
Or you can just build your own.
Yeah,
Absolutely, that's the best way to do it.
I build my own, guys. You can do that on the cheap, and that's not a problem. Yeah.
all right. So we'll kind of just run it through the room. Everybody can kind of do their little spiel of their channel or what's going on, or just
Where to find them.
Yeah, where to find you, which I have shared. Johnny, his YouTube page is Practical Nurse. I have shared his link to his YouTube page in the chat a couple of times, and I can share that again. We'll start down on the end with Clover.
It's been a good chat. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, hopefully everybody out there has listened. I wasn't able to see the chat or anything, and got some good information out of it. Yeah, check out clovertac.com. You could get all the social media stuff, all of that, and as far as my med bag, when I got the new bag and redid everything, it's not a complete list. I didn't have everything at the time that I did the video, but most everything is there, and you can go through that and kind of give you an idea of some things you might need for your own. And then, of course, all the other content is you can find it there on clovertac.com as well.
Very good, very good. How about you, Ghost?
Yeah, if you want to go check out my stuff, you can. The best place to find all my links for everywhere that I am is the website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. It'll have all the links to the YouTube, Instagram, the podcasts, pretty much everything that if you want to find it, it's there. Someone had asked earlier what kind of trauma kit I carry. Mine is called a Blue Force trauma kit. And I can't even remember how much it costs. I would say it's probably less than $50, probably $30, $40, something like that. But someone had asked earlier what it was, and it's a Blue Force. So there you go. Thanks for having me. It's a great chat. Awesome stuff.
Thank you for joining us. How about you, Jessie?
Well, after tonight, I've got a lot of homework to do, and I can't wait for my kids to get back so we can start practicing some stuff. Other than that, go check me out at Gunpowder Beauty, and you can check us out at www.tarpowdermedia.com.
Very good. What about you, Johnny?
I am Practical Nurse, PRAKTIKAL Nurse, on YouTube, and I talk a lot mostly about homesteading. That's my thing that I got into after I got out of the military. Homestead defense on a budget, first aid, medical, security. I am on Facebook under the same name, Practical Nurse, and on Instagram, same name, Practical Nurse. I'm not as probably high tech as y'all. I try to keep my life as simple and kind of complicated as possible.
Okay.
You can find all my information there, and I'm one of those persons that if you ever want to see something or want me to touch on something, by all means, shoot me a message in the comment section.
Very good. What about you, Stacey?
Well, not much. I did upload a video this morning on GunGals with
I saw that.
yeah, with the koala bags. I still have the second one that I'm gonna do. Get ready, that one with all of us trying them on.
Yes.
So still got that one to get ready, but other than that, not much. Going back to work, so dealing with all the rain.
Right. It's supposed to rain like the next 4 days here, so we get that. Me, I have got just a couple of days of work this week. Not too bad. As far as what I have planned, I've got a few more videos that I need to finish editing so that I can drop. Of course, grandbabies will be here at least one day. So, yeah, it's always exciting around here. You never know what's going to happen. And with the weather, it kind of puts a damper on whether or not I get to shoot or not. So we shall see. Jessie, I'm going to let you kind of take it away.
All right. If you're new to Gun Gals, we would like to invite you to like our Facebook page. We are also on Instagram. Real quick, a huge shout out to Gun Channels. If you haven't yet, check it out. Gun Channels is an online 2A community where you can share and connect with other like-minded members. We stream live there as well as here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have you heard of GunStreamer? We're over there too. It's awesome. Go check them out. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Gun Gals Live. We would love your input for what content you would like to see from our live show and for the rest of our channel. You can share your thoughts and ideas or just send us some love at info@gun-gals.com. Good night, y'all, and we'll see y'all on the next video.